Picture this. You're sitting in a sterile hospital room. Your child's on that exam table. Doctor walks in, barely even looks at your child, barely makes eye contact with you, and then starts explaining a procedure or medications or a problem using terms that you don't fully understand. But there's urgency in their voice. We got to act on this quickly. This is our standard protocol. But your heart's racing. There's questions that are spinning through your head, but the words won't come out. And so you feel the weight of a decision that could impact your child's future, but you're expected to make a decision right now. If you've ever been in that moment, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And unfortunately, this same scenario plays out again and again, not just in emergency rooms, but in urgent cares and specialist appointments, and even the routine wellness checkups at your conventional pediatrician. You walk in with questions, with concerns, with a gut feeling that something's not right, but instead of feeling heard, you feel rushed. The doctor seems bothered by your questions rather than taking the time to explain things clearly. And here's what happens. Under all of that pressure from the medical system, from the doctor, from the clock that's ticking on the wall, countless parents just say, go ahead. They agree to a procedure, to a test, to a medication that if given more time to properly research and understand, they likely would not have agreed to. If you're a parent of a child with chronic health challenges like ADHD or autism, sensory processing disorder, anxiety, or other neurological conditions, these moments become even more intense because your child's nervous system is already sensitive and dysregulated. The medical environment can send both you and your child into fight or flight mode. Yet these are precisely the moments when clear thinking and confident advocacy matters the most. So today I'm going to give you something that no one else has given you before. A clear step-by-step framework that transforms those overwhelming moments into opportunities for informed, confident decision-making. It's not just communication techniques. These are neurologically informed strategies that protect your child's health while navigating a system that often doesn't understand the complexities of nervous system dysfunction. So let's dive in. Before we get into the framework, you need to understand something critical. Your child with ADHD, with autism, sensory challenges, or chronic gut and immune conditions does not respond to medical interventions the same way that a neurotypical child might. And let me explain why. The conventional medical system excels at crisis intervention, broken bones, acute infections, life-threatening emergencies. That's where they shine. That's where they are the best in the world at. But when it comes to chronic illness, when it comes to truly understanding proactive health, nervous system regulation, and what it actually takes to build health within our kids and our families, they struggle. And here's why. Number one, your child's nervous system operates in a state of dysregulation 24/7. Now that means that they're more sensitive to pharmaceutical interventions, the environmental stressors, and the medical environment itself. And number two is that medical interventions trigger dysfunction. The fluorescent lights, the beeping machines, the rush energy within the room, all of that sends your child's already dysregulated nervous system into overdrive. So making accurate assessment is nearly impossible. Number three, communication breaks down. In a 5 to 10 minute appointment that you've waited months to get, preceded by a 2-hour wait in a waiting room, there's no time for the doctor to truly understand your child's complex neurological history, their birth trauma, what preconception was like, their sensory triggers, gut health, or the immune challenges, or the patterns that you've observed as their parent over months, if not years, of living with your child 24/7. You and your child deserve a doctor who's going to truly take the time to listen, to understand your child's entire case history, answer the damn questions, and explain things in a way that makes sense to you. Because when you find doctors who actually listen, it can make all of the difference, not just in your child's health outcomes, but in your confidence as a parent. So here's what I'm going to give you today. The 5-step advocacy framework that puts you back into the driver's seat of your child's health journey. So let's go. The first step is slow down the decision. The most powerful phrase in medical advocacy is this: I need a moment to think about it before making a decision. That's it. That one sentence changes everything. And here's why. Medical environments create artificial time pressure. They're designed to move quickly, process patients, get through the day, keep things efficient. But unless you're facing a genuine life-threatening emergency, and most situations aren't, you have time to process. You have time to think. And when you slow down this decision-making process, two critical things happen. First, your parasympathetic nervous system engages. Now, that's the part of our nervous system that allows us to think clearly, make rational decisions, and access your intuition. Second, for your child, reducing that rush energy helps their dysregulated system settle, allowing for a more accurate assessment of what's actually happening. And no, you're not being difficult, you're being smart. So practice saying it out loud right now. I need a moment to think about this before making a decision. Say it again. Own that statement. Step 2 is going to be asking for a full explanation, the risks, the benefits, and the alternatives. Never, and I mean never, consent to a procedure, a test, or a medication without understanding the complete picture. So here are your 3 essential questions. So write these down. Question 1 is, what are the risks of this procedure or medication? Not just the benefits, not just what they're hoping will happen, what could go wrong? Question 2 is, what are the benefits that they're hoping to achieve? Make them spell it out. What specific outcomes are we aiming for? How will we measure success? How will we know that we've gotten there? Question 3, are there any alternatives, including observation, less invasive options, or drug-free approaches? This is the question that separates good doctors from rush doctors. And here's what you need to understand. Children with dysautonomia, with nervous system dysregulation, sensory processing challenges, and long-standing neuroimmune issues often react differently to medications or procedures than neurotypical children. Their systems are already compromised. Their nervous systems are already in overdrive. So giving them another round of antibiotics or another steroid or another medication that suppresses symptoms without addressing the root cause, that can make things worse. So pay close attention to how your provider responds to these questions, because good doctors welcome thorough questioning. They appreciate it. They respect it. But defensiveness or the pressure to just trust them, that reveals whether this is a provider that truly understands your child's complexity or one that's just trying to get through the visit. Now, step 3 is getting clarity on urgency and the next best steps. Now, time pressure is often artificial. So here are the clarifying questions that cut through the noise. Is this urgent or life-threatening right now? If that answer is no, you got time. What happens if we wait, observe, or try a different approach first? Now, many neurological conditions benefit from observation periods that allow the nervous system to reveal patterns over time. So rushing into interventions can mask underlying dysfunction or create additional stress and demand that may worsen nervous system dysregulation. What would you recommend if this was your child? Now, this question shifts the dynamic. It makes them think as a parent, not as a provider processing patients. Now, these questions don't make you difficult. They make you informed. Step 4 is going to be trusting your gut and seeking a second opinion if needed. Listen to me very, very carefully. You live with your child 24/7. You know their patterns, their triggers, their warning signs. You know when something feels off. Trust that instinct. Because when something doesn't sit right with you, when your gut's screaming, wait, honor that. Use these empowering phrases. This doesn't sit well with me. I want to get a second opinion before proceeding. Is there another specialist that we can speak with? Here's the reality. Conventional medical providers are likely to blame genetics and recommend medications that cover up symptoms. Functional health providers might recommend a myriad of labs, diet changes, detoxes, and supplementation. And other providers are going to have an entirely different viewpoint and recommendations. So taking your time, trusting your gut, and consulting with multiple experienced professionals will go a long way in helping you make a clear and confident decision. Now, even within the chiropractic and nervous system focused field, there are multiple unique approaches because there's a vast difference between standard spinal focused chiropractors and neurologically focused pediatric care, and those that specialize in understanding the developmental windows and the neurological complexities that your child's experiencing. Not all chiropractic care is created equal, and that matters when you're looking for real and lasting results. Step 5 is going to be keeping records and making notes. The step is simple, but it's powerful. Keep a notebook, a folder, or a running Google Doc where you track the names of all of the providers and the staff, the specific recommendations and their reasoning, the risks and the benefits discussed, your questions and their responses, the timelines and the follow-up plans. This is also incredibly helpful now that we have AI at our disposal, as we can literally record an entire conversation with a provider and then go through a summary to give us all of this information. And now for children who are going through chronic health and neurological challenges, these records become invaluable for tracking patterns for you, for sorting out what's working and what's not working, what's making things worse, keeping your parent brain as sane and systematized as possible. And trust me, your future self and future providers will thank you. And one more thing, have an advocate present. Bring your spouse, bring a family member, a friend, or someone that you trust more than anyone, because two minds process complex medical information better than one. Your advocate can ask questions that you might forget. They take notes while you focus on your child and then provide emotional support during overwhelming moments. It's also a really great strategy when working with your child's school and their educational team for IEPs, for 504 plans, for ARD meetings, and all of that. All right, parents, let's bring this home. Here at Haven Family Chiropractic, one thing that we do differently than most providers is this. We understand that no one knows your child better than you. So we don't look to take control. We don't add pressure or confusion. We don't do anything that would take your child's healing journey off track. And instead, we're entirely obsessed with truly listening to all of your concerns, answering all of your questions in full, and using language that you can actually understand. But most importantly, partnering with you to get maximum results for your child. Now, we take our role very seriously, and we know that the best results don't come from a dictatorship. They come from true partnership. And if you're looking for a doctor in the Houston area that fits that description, but you haven't found one yet, you're in the right place. Head to our website. The link is going to be under the description below, and you can click that schedule consultation button to book your child's initial visit. Now, during that consultation, we're going to sit down. We're going to hear your child's full story. We're going to look deeper than any provider ever has before. And then we're going to confirm it all with the neurological insight scans to see exactly what's happening within their nervous system, and then create a personalized and customized care plan that's tailored specifically for your child. Always remember, you are your child's best advocate. Now, you know them better than any provider ever could. And to do their best job, every single provider on your child's care team needs your input. They need your observations and your advocacy to make truly informed decisions. Now, those tools that I just gave you, they give you the confidence and a framework to use that knowledge effectively. Your advocacy can literally change your child's health trajectory. When you slow decisions down, when you ask the right questions, when you trust your instincts and seek appropriate support, you can confidently move forward on a path that is sure to get the best results for your child and for your family. So click that link below, book your child's consultation, and let's partner together. I cannot wait to meet you and your family.